Welcome to the Smoking Word. Welcome to the Smoking Word.
What's up, everybody? Your boy is back with another one. The Smokin' Word podcast is brought to you by, CasaDeRock.com. That's my merch store. We got a lot of cool shit in stock. We actually got this shirt right here that your boy got on at the moment. As you can see, we had this show all last weekend, so whatever was left we have up on the web store. So if you want to support the movement, all t-shirts are $21 for the whole year. That's how we're celebrating 2021. So CasaDeRock.com is a spot. And Patreon, if you want to support the podcast, very, very important. Nothing is for free in this world. You people should know that. And this podcast shit isn't either. I have a blast doing it, but shit costs money. But anyway, if you want to invest in the show, Patreon is the spot. You got to go to patreon.com/thesmokingword. You go on there. We got 4 tiers of shit. We got basically a lot of exclusive stuff, videos, and we're dropping a lot more. We got a lot of stuff going on in that world. So if you want to support the family, if you want to join the family, Patreon is the spot. So remember, patreon.com/thesmokingword. Get down with the get down. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at HoyerRock357 and add the Smokin' Word podcast on Instagram at the Smokin' Word podcast on Instagram. Hit us up. If you have any questions, you want to talk some shit, shout outs, whatever, hit us up. And anyway, on this episode, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something special. I want to do something for all the young guns out there, all you New Jack hustlers. This one's dedicated to all the new bands and maybe not so new bands, but out there building this movement up. And I figured who better than to get my brother, Syracuse finest, Buske. Let's set this shit off. Listen, I'm glad you could make it, Buske.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a thing called technology, right?
I know.
And on this platform, first of all, the crazy part is right now, I was more technical than you.
I love it. I love that. It finally gets, a little bit of heat off of me.
Listen. Yo, how you doing, bro? How you been?
I'm doing good. I'm home chilling, doing some work.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to catch you because right now I was just trying to go over how I wanted to do this because first of all, good to see you again, everybody. Well,
absolutely.
We got to welcome Buske to the fucking Smokin' Word podcast before we do anything. And if real quick, let them know what's up. Give them the resume real quick. Everybody know. A lot of people know already how you came up, but just real quick, let them know who you're playing for and what you're doing right now.
All right, cool. Right now, Maximum Penalty, still jamming with those guys. I guess we'll sort of go there and head backwards.
Yeah.
Maximum Penalty, I started playing with them in 2009, I believe. So I guess I'm the new old guy in that band because everyone's still like, oh, you play with Maximum Penalty? I'm like, yeah, it's been 12 years.
I know how that shit is weird. It's weird how it works, right?
So, doing that, but that's kind of on hiatus. Our drummer Goat, as you know, moved out to Vegas recently, right after we played in February at A7. And right after that, Goat left for Las Vegas. And then I went on tour, that tour bus right there, and in March. And that was the end, that was the end of it. So COVID, shut everything down in March. And then Maximum Penalty has basically just been on hiatus at this point. So
everybody's on that fucking, things are a little bit better now, but all right. Keep going. I want, there's a reason. I want everybody to know the resume.
All right. And then I did a band called Manipulate for a minute in between there doing Maximum Penalty. That was short lived. We did a 7-inch on Flat Spot Records and a demo. Um, but prior to that, there was Terror. I did 3 years in Terror. And then I had a band called The Promise that I was doing in Syracuse. And then I jumped in Ragman for a couple of years there.
Damn, man, you a band hoe too, man. Now
Uh,
I'm thinking about it.
yeah, and then a lot of these were sort of, I mean, you know how it goes. Like
Yeah.
it's all connected in a way, so there wasn't too much jumping around. I mean, this was all like internal things, so this band led to that band, which led to this band, led to, but it all really started with this band called Another Victim,
Yeah.
In 1997, 98, like that. And that was basically at the time Earth Crisis's, little brother band.
Yeah.
The only thing going on in Syracuse at that time that was getting any sort of national notoriety was Earth Crisis, and then we came along in 98, and luckily the demo did pretty well. We got signed by Stillborn, not signed, but Jamie put out our first EP when Hatebreed was just taking off again, 1998. So we had good backing right from the beginning with Jamie, and then we got signed to Equal Vision, and we put out an EP on Equal Vision. And
I didn't
Earth
know
Crisis,
that was on Equal Vision, though.
yeah, the EP was on Equal Vision, Apocalypse Now. And then right away we went on tour with Earth Crisis and VOD, Fury of Five. We did a Turmoil tour. We did a One King Down tour. So right away, that band sort of luckily had a little bit of momentum, which led to, again, eventually The Promise and all of these other things.
And then right now, still maybe you're not behind the instrument at the moment. And right now, what let people also know what you're doing now. You're also still involved. What you do now. Just we're lucky to be able to do things that are still we can incorporate with being in our scene and part of our world.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
You worked on a lot of new shit that just dropped. So people might not know the shit that you were involved with. So let people know what's up too with the
design. A lot of design stuff. It was always kind of my fallback with the band thing, like I always put everything I have and had into being in a band, but I was always sort of, cautious that these things aren't going to last forever, so I always sort of in the back of my mind worked on design stuff. And then after I left Terror, I got a job doing merch design for Bravado, which is a pretty big merch company that a lot of people might know as Blue Grape at one time back in the day.
So Row Run Lockdown was Blue Grape.
Yeah.
Not Madball, but that's another story. But all right.
Yeah. Yep. But basically that evolved into a company called Bravado. I worked for Bravado. It sort of kickstarted my design career. Aside from doing music, realized pretty early on that I'm not a 9-to-5 corporate guy, so I went freelance, and I've just been hustling design, on the side, freelance.
And you just did the most recent shit. What's the A7 stuff, and then what are the most recent fresh visuals that are out that are a la Buske?
Yeah, the A7 comp, Pitchfork A7 comp. We did that with Drew Stone, our brother Steve Huey, who does Fly Right Tattoo here in New York City.
Andrew and the OG Madball.
Hell yeah, that's right. So much of that stuff, the Demise stuff, Murphy's Law stuff. So he did the cover artwork. I did a little bit of work on that on the cover, but then the LP comes with a 24-page basically zine as an insert. Insert.
That's dope idea, but it's crazy.
Yeah, there was a bunch of cops, growing up that did that, and I always loved that. I always loved getting a record and diving into it, and a zine is a perfect way to open up a record. It forces you to sit there and read the page while you're listening to the song. And so we threw that idea in there. And I know Generation Records has copies that come with like a patch. So there's a bunch of awesome variants out there. But yeah, the A7 Pitchfork comp, it actually pre-orders are available today or yesterday. So
yeah,
you can
everybody go get that. Go check out the Pitchfork side. I bet the info's on there. Everything, you know, you can find online. Definitely go get that shit and the A7 comps and all these whatnots.
Yeah.
But definitely, but that's one of them. Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted you on this. I had this idea for a while. Well, I'm one of these guys who always has my ear to the streets, and you're one of my guys that's on the streets. So I'm always, you know, again, Madball especially, I can speak for my whole band on this one. We were one of those, you know, because now, you know, it's crazy to say we're one of the older bands, you know, which I don't feel like it. But we one of the guys that we learned from AF, you know, we always showed love to the young generation, the new generation. And because we got that love when people shitted on us. And there's a lot of good music out there that also that I discover way later that I, you know, if somebody didn't put me onto it, I would have never heard. So I was like, I had this idea. I was like, you know, I was lucky to drop a lot of episodes, you know, with a lot of, you know, classic people, you know, a lot of hard hitters. And I'm lucky to have a lot of friends in cool places. But it's all about that new generation. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I'm like, you know, salute. We gotta everybody gotta always, we gotta always salute the old generation, and we always will. But the shit doesn't move without the young generation, the new generation. Absolutely. And that's why we never hated. If anything, we always showed love. And I was always wanting, you know, I wanted to, you know, also feel out what was going on out there. I wanted to see the feel of the streets. So basically, a while ago, I had told you, throw me some bands, because also I'm not one of these guys who's going to come and try to front. Or, you know, Buske gave me a list. How long ago? A couple of months ago?
Yeah, it's been a couple months.
Yeah, and basically I would use it while I work out. So I would have it randomly playing in the background. I'm not going to front and be like, yo, I knew all these tracks before. But I would sporadically listen to them and whatever, because I'm like, I want to hear what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I got fresh ears again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to hear it.
Absolutely. And to me, that's why I love Spotify at this day and age. You know, I guess it's sort of a two-part thing to your thing. I agree with you. I hated when I grew up. I hated all these guys that talk shit about my version of hardcore. You know what I mean? Just because there was maybe double bass and double picking and chugging in it. I get it. It didn't sound like Minor Threat. I love Minor Threat growing up. I love Subhumans. I love all that shit, you know. But when it came to my version of hardcore, it was harder. You know what I mean? It was tougher. And the older guys, the punk older hard guys, they would talk shit about it. So I always hated that. And I was always that guy that was like, no matter what, the young kids, they know what's up. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna grow with the young kids, you know?
Yeah, always.
So that's why I always try to keep my ear to the streets. And like you, I'm not trying to front like I know what's up. You know what I mean? I barely go to many shows when there was shows happening anymore. You know, I just like to be on the ground level of shit. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So I'm glad that you hit me up to do this, you know, because I love to share this stuff, and you're a great dude to share that with.
Yeah, you know? And I know you know what's up and I know it's, again, you know, we love the music, and I know we come from the same DNA of how we came up in hardcore, but you're more in tune with what's maybe going on at the moment than I do. So I know I'm gonna find something I might like, because you're gonna kind of be like, this is this kind of thing, this is that kind of thing. You know, we know each other's flavors and stuff. And I got to hear a lot of cool shit when I was working out to these tracks. So, but now I get to kind of put more faces to it with the actual thing. So this is the first time I ever did an episode like this. So basically, at the moment right now, we're going to, all in post, we're going to add the full songs, because at first we weren't sure what's up with copyright shit. But the first song I wanted to talk to you about, I don't know if you want to even put it on yourself, but I'm going to put on, I got my, and shout out to Spotify, like what you were saying. You know what? I'll tell you why. Shout out to Spotify. I never had the shit. And the reason why I got Spotify, because you sent me this playlist on a Spotify. And I, you know, it was one of those things that I didn't know. I got to pay for it. I got to do this. I didn't got to pay for shit. And basically the way it laid out the songs, how you could make your own little playlist and all that, I was like, oh, this is fucking great.
Yeah. And you can share it. You know what I mean? It's basically Instagram and Facebook, but for music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
so,
but I was trying to get it now. So basically, we're gonna add in the full song and post. But you know these songs already. But You probably won't be able to hear it, but I'm gonna teardrop into deep. I don't know if you can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear a little bit. I can also play it on my end if you want to.
Play it on your end if you just want to hear. You want to hear. So we could. This is a dope track.
Yeah.
The name's hard too.
Yeah.
Teardrop, Buske. What do you know about these motherfuckers?
Teardrop is my man Griff and Eli, who played in a band from Texas called Bitter End, which I'm pretty sure you know.
Oh, hell, all right. First, let's stop right there. So this is Bitter End blood. First of all, that makes, you know, I'm even more
all
happy.
Coming together now, right?
Yeah. But I'm even more glad because, like I was just telling you, this shit is fucking hard. You know what I mean? And it's refreshing. But go ahead. But all right. So these are Texas in the building.
Texas dudes. Yep. You know, good bloodline. Texas just has great music. You know, it really does. And between Bitter End and Power Trip and Iron Age and so many of these bands that came out, they rip it, dude. You know, and they just play a perfect version of metallic heavy hardcore, you know, Marauder, Hatebreed.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. They definitely, you know what's dope, that they got that crossover shit, but it's not the same played out crossover shit. They're not trying to sound like Hatebreed, or they're not trying to sound like, they got a good, I don't know, like Marauderish. Who else would you say kind of got that feel?
I feel a little Obituary in there, you know.
Yeah, it's like that open metal, that open chord, like that's what I'm saying, that thrash metal from the fucking
it's Texas, you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like there's definitely a thing with regions. You know, you get certain styles out of certain regions of, you know, countries and cities, whatever. And Texas just, I always say Texas riffs, you know, like they just have riffs and riffs.
Yeah. Whiskey. Their riffs sound like whiskey. That shit just a party, a fight.
Barbecue, like barbecue and whiskey or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but fun and fight.
But it's just riff after riff with those guys. And Griff left Bitter End, and Bitter End went on, and they, you know, got some new members, and they did music without Griff. But he had some personal challenges that basically he had to, you know, face and tackle those personal challenges. He overcame them. He came back and said it's time to start, you know, focusing on music again. So he started Teardrop. And basically, you know, this EP is kind of about his time away from music, you know, and overcoming the challenges that he had to overcome, you know. So it's an awesome EP, and it's fucking heavy as nails. So if you feel that song, get the whole thing, because the whole thing just rips.
Yo, it's definitely. And what's and what I was gonna say, is this their first thing out, this first EP out, or is this something?
I believe so, yeah. And I think recently they put out, I think, a Carnivore cover, or maybe a Typo Negative cover on
that's dope. That's fucking, you know, a change of pace.
Yeah, on Static Era, which is Jay Reason's label that he's starting up. So it's again, it's on Spotify. If you just look up Teardrop, all that stuff I think is up there. But
and it's a fucking hard name. Again, I love the name, the sound, and it's fucking again, you know, people also get it twisted because, you know, we're made from that hardcore shit. Yeah, I love metal more than the next metalhead, but I just like my metal. You know what I mean? And you know, and when I don't like nothing. I love shit. You know, that's my thing. I either love it or I hate it. So the metal I love. Yes. You know, and if I don't, it's just, you know, it's whack. But Texas always, two things. Texas, I gotta say, they always had that, you know, that crossover flavor. You know what I mean? Yeah. They always had, you know, that punk Texas has punk attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole state has a fucking punk attitude. Yo, shout out to fucking Texas. Yeehaw.
Texas.
Yeah, shout out, you know what, Summer Flash. Yo, shout out to fucking Power Trip. Shout out to Bitter End. You know what's up. Shout out everybody and shout out to fucking Chacho's Tacos, all those, you know, the fam out there, Corpus Christi crew.
San
Texas,
Antonio, White Rabbit.
White Rabbit. I was just thinking about that the other day. Texas, I hope to see you next. You know what I mean? You know, things is happening, but
Texas will show up.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
rebel
yeah.
attitude, they'll show
yeah,
up.
hell yeah. But all right, the next band that I want to hear is SOS. Age of Apocalypse. SOS, Age of Apocalypse. Buske, what do you know about it? This is how we got to do all these guys. You basically got to give me the drop on these guys, because I also, on purpose, I didn't do kind of any homework on it, because I was wondering, because I know you know the more important shit than you know.
I know a little bit. This is one of those bands that I really don't, and that's what's
that's even better.
That's what I say. That'll make this even cooler. All I know is they popped up again through Spotify. I haven't been to a hardcore show in well over a week, a year, aside from, the Madball Park show, in over a year. So for me to find new bands, it's usually through Spotify or something. So this is one of those bands that just popped up on Spotify, and instantly I liked it.
It's a cool style. It's different, for sure.
Yeah, I would, the melodic. I like the melodic voice, but the heavy riffs, it's a nice contrast. You're not just yelling and screaming. So Life of Agony, I hear in there. I was
trying to put together, like, who could I compare this to? And I could hear the Life of Agony, definitely. But I'm trying to. There's somebody else in the hardcore world that it reminds me of, maybe an old school, like, I don't know.
Musically or vocally?
No, vocally.
Vocally.
Like that's how he's style.
Leeway, Eddie Sutton, Leeway-ish?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's fucking bothering me, but I hear it. Like, I hear that stuff. But exactly, you know what's cool? That obviously the hard riff and melodic shit has been done, but this style of melodic and the music is definitely different. They chose to, it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you've heard it 1,000 times, but this has a different personality.
Exactly.
And that's what, to me, a lot of hardcore is, and metal. I mean, music in general. It's just got to have a certain personality, and a certain color to it. And I think this is just one of those bands that I think has a cool coloring. Cool riffs, breakdowns that are heavy and hard, but they're not cheesy, generic, heavy, hard, because they're backed up by a cool melodic vocal melody or something, So
let me ask you, do you know where the fuck they're from?
I don't, but we could do a quick search.
Yeah. See if you could see, because I'm curious, because you brought up, the demographics. Sometimes you can connect the dots on what might be in the watering hole.
Here.
You know what I mean?
It says New York.
Oh, shit. I definitely wasn't going to say New York, but now we connect these dots. Maybe the Leeway you saying might be in that DNA. We got to find these SOS people.
Yeah, Age of Apocalypse. I'm thinking maybe upstate Hudson, Hudson County, like that area, Newburgh, Beacon, up that way because I know that they've got some stuff going on with that band Mind Force as well, and I know that Mind Force is from up that way, so they could be upstate, New York area.
Mind Force is dope too. And what does it say? Do you know what SOS stands for?
I don't know. I don't know. See, again, this is one of those things like I just threw it in the playlist and I didn't, I just rocked it and I like, I didn't do any research on it, but I do know that they just put a split out with this band Pain of Truth from Long Island. The guys from Hangman, that band Hangman.
Yeah, Hangman. They just played with Sheer Terror, I think, right?
They did, yep. So they've got some stuff out, some new stuff out too on Streets of Hate. Little Madball love there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like them. Whoever they are, I like them.
Yo, and again, they're upstate too.
Upstate, shout out to Upstate Rec. Shout out to freaking Brick by Brick and all you other white trash motherfuckers in Upstate. No, Upstate been representing, even in the scene. They came back hard, man. Upstate always had, but the force, we feel it in general, like as a movement, more than even our people, like they have a good thing going on there that everybody's supporting each other. And I see that shit. That shit is dope. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's good that that area was always strong. So, it had its up and downs, and it should be one of the hot, the hot spots on our side. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And fucking, but yeah, shout out to everybody up there and fucking, I wanted to say big shout out to the Angry Swine for fucking putting on these shows and fucking stepping the fuck up and wanting to have a good time and celebrate with everybody. Cause I seen, barbecue and hardcore. What the fuck more you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bust a nut and die, and then you're good.
Some whiskey,
a nut or two, a chocolate chip cookie. Thank you. Good night. What the fuck more you want? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
But yeah, all right. But no, that's good. Definitely dope band, and got to look into. I'm curious. I'm gonna do my own homework later and wonder what the fuck SOS stands for.
Yeah.
But the next one, The Fight, One in the Mirror. All right.
All right. Where we at? Here we go.
Buske.
Yeah. The Fight.
Tell me what you know about these dudes.
Long Island right there.
Long Island fucking representing.
Yep. So new version of, I guess, some atypical Long Island hardcore. You probably would not expect to hear that being from Long Island, but that's my boy Scanlon, who does a bunch of shows out here now. Just a younger generation, I guess. Even from me, these guys came up with that whole backtrack era, of New York, Long Island guys. So probably 10 years younger, than us, but just awesome, traditional, dirty,
Listen,
hardcore. From
the first time I heard this song and this track, one word popped in my head. And the words of fucking Masvidal, super necessary. When I heard that shit, it had that sheer terror feel, even sonically, even lyrically, just what he was saying and how he was saying it. I could tell. I was like, that's some our DNA type shit. And it's super necessary at this time where I was like, fuck, we needed that. We needed, I ain't trying to say they are the new version of sheer terror. They're their own thing, but they're they fill in that void in the whole tree now, you know, where we have the new straight edge guys, the new, you know, punk metal guys, the new, you know, the Krishna guys. We need all those people, the new refreshed versions of them. And when I heard this, I was like, sonically it's so old school, you know, to that our era of hardcore, and I thought it was so dope. I was like, I got happy when I heard that shit. I was like,
absolutely,
we need this shit. You know, this band is needed in the mix with all these other bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's cool too is visually, it you know, if you see the layout of the record, it looks great too. You know, it's punk looking. It's got a very punk attitude, but it's got the hardness of hardcore.
Yeah,
you know?
It got the attitude, the name, you know, everything.
Yeah, for sure. And unlike the first two bands we played, you know, which were more on the metal side of hardcore, again, like you said, I love metal, you know, and I always have, and I listened to metal before I even got into punk and hardcore. So naturally, I gravitate more towards the heavier metal stuff in hardcore. But I also grew up listening, like I said, listening to Subhumans and Crass and all sorts of punk. So I love punk hardcore too, and this speaks to that. You know, this is like that very punk attitude, look, sound, everything, you know.
I hope the singer's ugly, because if he's ugly, you know, it'd be
it's
even
a
harder.
win-win.
Like if he's a pretty boy, it's kind of like, if he's ugly, that's like, I'm all for them. I'm gonna need that size XXX.
Yeah, well, we can make him ugly. You can very easily make him ugly.
We're gonna make him ugly. We're gonna make this poor dude with, you know, dope band. We're gonna end up freaking bashing his face.
Yeah.
Yo, no, shout out to that.
That shit is awesome.
Yeah, really dope. You know, cool shit, good mix. And that's another thing that I was glad of the mix you gave me. That you know, it was a good mix of, you know, refreshing shit. And they're Long Island. You know, so these guys are Long Island guys.
Long Island guys, yeah. So if you're in and around the area, hopefully you should be able to check them out soon enough. But I'm pretty sure that record's on Triple B. Right. So it should be pretty easy to find. And again, Spotify, I'm sure you can find it.
Definitely. Make sure everybody, you got to hit these bands up. A lot of these bands are new bands. Not only that, you got to hit them because all the, you know, all the hits, you know, it gets the music out to more people, and we need to grow this shit. And you know what I mean? And what the fuck? You got music for free. I downloaded this shit for free. Yo, Spotify, holla at the Smokin Word. But anyway, you got Joe Rogan, and then you got the Smokin Word podcast.
That's right. That's right. The big boys, the big league.
Thank you. But
these guys are also putting out music in the middle of a pandemic still, you know.
Hell
you got to support them because as we all know, the only way to really make this shit happen is through live music. And with that being stifled right now, you know, these bands aren't making shit at the moment. So every little bit helps, whether it's on Bandcamp or buying a physical copy, you know.
Doing that, and you know, even fucking you following them on their Instagrams, giving them an extra follow or repost. Trust me, that shit counts. Cause I'm working on my 10th album, and every fucking follow counts because we don't depend on record companies or radio stations to get the word out. We do the shit in-house by us. So everybody, that's why we do this shit. You know what I mean? We do it for the love. And also, if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for us. And we don't want nobody else to do it for us. We want to be able to do it so we can control it. The same way we fucking set that shit off last Saturday. So your hardcore lives, motherfucker. But anyway.
That's right.
Let me stop because I still feel like the Hulk, Buske. You don't understand.
You are. That's why.
Yeah, you understand. But all right, let's go. The next guys I want to check out.
All right.
Reaction.
Here we go.
I don't need a reason.
Myself.
Reaction Buske. First of all, I can tell you this right now. I guarantee you they don't smoke, they don't drink. Um, I maybe they
How'd you
bang,
guess?
maybe they don't.
How'd you
But
guess?
but fucking dope. But all right,
Yeah.
tell me, but tell me what you know about them.
New York City straight edge.
Oh shit! I
There
didn't know
you
that when
go.
New York. Yeah, listen, I might just have to X up right now. Are you lucky I don't got a fucking black marker? Because I'll X up the fuck up. That shit got me amped. But go ahead, tell me.
Members of Combust.
Oh, all right. I remember them. Like I knew of them, like a couple of songs that
Yep.
something the Combust.
Yep. So Combust is probably, you know, I guess a new, you would say, new New York hardcore band. Combust, I guess, is a little bit more less straight edge sounding. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit more on the raw deal sort of tip, whereas this reaction stuff is straight up straight edge hardcore.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh hell yeah.
Which I have a huge soft spot for. You know,
Oh,
I just think
me
it's
too.
absolutely. You know, I think it's the best. You know, it really, that sound really helps capture what those guys feel and look like and energy and the whole thing. You know, so it's just awesome new New York straight edge hardcore. You know,
I like this shit a lot again because you know that shit was again all this sound and from the fucking from these guys from the what we just heard, the fight, like these were all different, two totally different sounding bands, but these were that's what was under the umbrella. That's why I loved it. And these guys, what I love, they got that youth of today feel, but they're harder.
Yep.
You know, you could hear that more. They got it's got a more grit, but you hear that era of hardcore in that, and that's what I like. I love those setups, you know, like the classic setups with those style of
the building
breakdown.
drums, the building drums, the guitar, the high guitar squeal, you
like
know,
like every song, like every straight ahead song, you know what I mean, had that same like everyone, but it was so magic, you know. And Youth of Today had that, you know. People out there, I want you to know something, you know. They always sometimes it seems like I pick on straight edges. I don't pick on straight edge. I love straight edge is a part of this fucking house. I just don't like when I point out is when that shit started making itself its own thing. When it was like, no, you were involved in, you lived in this house. You wanted to move out and fucking build your own little house outside of our house. And that's what bothered me. And that's not everybody. It was just that elitist time at that moment. You know, and that's what I try to tell people. But I'm like, you kidding me? Like, even when like Youth of Today, again, you know, classic, and some of those tracks is the recipe for, you know,
oh my God,
a lot of our DNA. You know, Break Down the Walls. That song is one of my favorite tracks. You know what I mean? Like
it's the blueprint. I mean, it's hardcore. You know, I mean, it really is. It's more hardcore than a lot of modern hardcore, which takes more of the metal approach. You know what I mean? This is verse chorus breakdown. You know, like it's pretty bare bones, basic, but it's a lot of those hooks, you know, those buildups, those little things that just they totally encapsulate what hardcore traditionally, you know, sounds like and feels like, and energy.
And this is a fact of me being the fucking hardcore surgeon, soul snatcher and deep diver in this music shit. People don't, and all you motherfuckers could do this. This is one of my theories that you could trace, especially with the straight edge bands, them being one from the Insteads and so on. In that era of sound, you could still trace the agnostic front in their music. And that's what the early straight edge bands molded themselves out of sonically. You could ask all the early California bands, straight edge bands, and to them and to the Youth of Today. Youth of Today, I mean, I can't speak for them. Number one, I got too much marijuana in my body to speak for them. So, but I could say this, I could almost speak for them in this way. I guarantee you Agnostic Front was a big part of their DNA, you know, writing wise, and they just happened to be the young kids at that time. So their translation of the music being a little bit hipper was that. You could still hear the Agnostic Front, you know, and it was still that close to the Watering Hole, the original Watering Hole. You know what I mean? And people forget that in the straight edge. Like, I know where my shit comes from. You know what I mean? And that's why I get mad when other motherfuckers don't, because everybody should. This is like, you should know where your mother, your father, your grandfather, your uncles come from.
Yeah, for sure, for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
And that's the one thing with Earth Crisis growing up, that was our version of straight edge up in Syracuse, and yes, it didn't sound like Minor Threat and it didn't sound like Youth of Today, and that was part of the evolution, though. You know what I mean? Earth Crisis, Syracuse in general, we didn't want to sound that way. We wanted to sound metal and have that more metal sound, so that's just the way that it worked out in that way. But
and also for New York City, it's dope that we have a fucking straight edge band repping and a good one, because we need those. New York got to start waking the fuck up. And I don't want to say there's a lot of new bands coming out. That's why I started getting amped. But I mean, I hope these bands, any advice I could give you is don't stop, period. That's the only advice. That's all I want. Nobody's going to tell you how you should sound. You should do this and respect this. Yeah, respect the roots. Do what you do, but don't stop. That's what we need. We need consistency. We need to keep building. We got to keep this scene alive, and that's how we keep it alive. You know what I mean? It's like by doing your own thing, but we need these bands. We need the next generation, and all you older guys, instead of talking shit on the young guys, fucking put them on, or maybe fucking shut the fuck up and listen. You might learn something.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And but fucking but no, I'm glad, we need a straight edge band. We need the New York punk band. We need the New York metal band. I'm waiting for that New York metal band, like straight up, like our Hatebreed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think we do.
There's plenty of players that could easily put that together,
Am I gonna have to listen? Everybody on the Smokin Word podcast, I want you motherfuckers to hit me. If you want me to jump in this metal shit and start taking motherfuckers' heads off, because I already been in the back of my head, Buske, just so you know. Not like a crossover metal hardcore band. Like, I'm doing some metal shit. I'll go in and take niggas' heads off.
Listen, Look My Way is an awesome metal record. It really is. And I love Look My Way because it's a metal record. I mean, it isn't.
That was the plan. And that was the plan exactly. When
metal on that.
At the most punk rock hardcore was getting at the time, we were getting more darker and metallic. And when that record came out, I told the story. We were fucking hated. People hated on us big time. But
I got a funny story if we can derail for a minute about that, because it just popped into my head. We recorded at Salad Days right after you guys did the Another Victim EP that was on Equal Vision. So we went in there literally, I think the day after you guys left, and we were all amped because we're like, yo, Madball just did their record here. This guy, Dean is hot. He's gonna be on fire. And we sat down. He's like, yeah, we just did the new Madball. You want to hear a song? And I was like, of course, dude. And he fucking put on it was either Look My Way or
Waste the Time or something, some slow shit.
One of the slower ones, and we literally just started laughing because we were overtaken by joy that there was something that was like metal and heavy and and at the time we were on Sepultura tip, so we had bongos in our songs. You know what I mean? And we were like trying to take it to that next heavy Hatebreed. So we heard that and we literally laughed. We were so excited. And couldn't believe
I'm glad because those people that had our back, but a lot of people didn't, because again, it was a dark, they were like, I remember we have a double bass part in that song, and we literally had to have a talk about it because we were like, yo, a double bass part, I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. But I'm like, where, people are gonna talk shit. Now we do whatever the fuck we always did. But I remember we were like, we didn't want to do it to be out of pocket for ourselves. We're like, we this shit sounds like we have to do that. But we don't want people to think like we're trying to be Hatebreed or whoever was popping, because we're not. But I go, but yo, I love this metal shit. I always waited for the moment to bring the metal shit into Madball. That's what I did from jump. Wait, how could I bring that into that?
It was great. That record is still up there for me.
And I love it. Really but I'm happy that it's a special moment in time for Madball because sonically, but I'm glad because we never strayed far off that. Our last album is the most, let's say versatile, because that was a buildup of all that. But from all the years, Look My Way, we always kept that crossover-ish feel that we always had. And that was kind of like the remedy, that was like what we loved. And wait till
it was the one voice. It was like one voice for AF. You know what I mean? It wasn't the same record, but it wasn't, it wasn't too far off the path at all.
I got on this next record, I got some shit, Buske. I got some straight up bank robbery.
I'm sure.
Wearing this mask all year made me think of a lot of bank robbery things. This fucking record, definitely a lot of groove and a lot of fucking anger in that way. But all right, but yo, let's check out this other one. I remember this. All right. Endgame, Above the Law.
All right, where we at here?
Connor, do you know the difference between a cop and a criminal? One bad judgment call. Justice, there isn't a shroud, no evidence, nothing to prove. Corruption around every corner, always prying eyes. Do you like what you see? All I see around me is nothing but lies, covered in a uniform, behind your badge and your gun, and somehow above the law.
That shit sounds like Rob, Born for Pain right there. For a minute. Endgame, Buske. First of all, the fucking, I don't know if that's their record cover or whatever, that shit is dope. The devil.
What is it?
The little devil. It has the devil head in front of the brick wall.
I don't have this. I don't know what this track is.
Endgame, Above the Law.
I don't have it in here.
Oh, you don't have, well, you gotta get it.
What happened? I don't have it in my playlist.
Well, you see, as we've seen this shit unfold in front of everybody's ears, your boy's catching up to the ear on the streets, and I might just have a pebble that you didn't.
You must be turning me on to something.
That's what I'm saying. Look, you ain't the first person I turned on. Papa, I got 2 sons. You forgot?
See?
Listen, listen. No, I thought you had this, but yo, dope, because I hope these motherfuckers like Madball, because I hear some flavor. Not that it sounds like Madball, but they got a good swag to them. Okay. And I was gonna ask you. I was curious. You didn't even know who they were. I was wondering where the fuck they're from.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it now for the first time. I don't know what happened here, but it looks like they're from Canada.
Before you got that. Oh, Canada. Shout out to my fucking Canadians. Does it say what part of Canada? Because that'll explain a lot. Montreal.
Calgary.
Calgary. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Calgary got a lot of
seeing it now. All right, I see it now. Yeah.
First of all, dope with the visuals.
Yep.
Like the right, you could tell from everything, from the sound and whatever, the DNA is right. One more, I gotta say this. Who's ever putting the next generation on, or wherever these guys been getting their water from, I salute them, because it seems like everybody got the right, they're on the, they're carrying this fucking thing the right way. So I'm happy seeing this shit. But what do you see about them?
Right off the bat, like you, I love the artwork, the graffiti logo, the tattoo style, very cool cover. I do think I have heard them. I didn't listen to the track while we were just listening, but I do. Yeah, I definitely, when you said Born from Pain, I definitely feel you on that. And like you said, it looks like a version of hardcore that I would instantly gravitate to.
Yeah, they have that, again, that Madball Terror groove, kind of that riffage. That's why I had a real cool swag. And I'm like, not that shit is not, that sound ain't like the most original sound. All of us doing groove type riffs, our whole thing is based upon that. But this is definitely refreshing because, like I said, I like, when shit, you could tell when stuff is influenced. And I like when you can hear the influence, but some bands just rob and steal. To me, I don't hear robbing and stealing. I hear the influence on that. You know what I mean? They got I could tell you the style they like, and it's the groove, the mosh shit, which is dope. You know, because if you got flavor, I'm all about that flavor and that fucking
personality, and that's all it is. You know, everyone's got to have their own sort of personality because, like you said, there's nothing. Everyone's moshing, everyone's writing the same sort of things. You know, but everyone's got to color it differently and give it its own flavor.
Exactly. And what I like, again, like we were talking earlier with the artwork, you know, the artwork is almost as important as the music sometimes because it wraps it all up. Like even looking at the artwork, it's refreshing. Like, again, like the fight, going back to them where they got that punkish kind of looking imagery. This is like the hardcore kid, you know, kind of style. You're getting. Yeah, exactly. And that's what it was dope. If everything would just look like, you know, the same, you know, a piece or some scribbly fucking letters, evil letters, it's like, okay, it becomes monotonous, that shit. But fucking Canada, Calgary, huh? Dope.
Yeah, thanks for turning me on to that.
Yeah, I had it on my list and I was like, yo, these motherfuckers dope. But we got 2 more for this set. But all right, this next one. Plague Years, Incantation.
Hell yeah.
This is hard. Plague Years, Incantation. Those motherfuckers are hard too.
Hell yeah.
They could play too. I could tell you right now, whoever's on guitar, those motherfuckers could play. There's some mad fucking picking in that shit.
Yeah, I love that shit, man. I really do. That's probably my top pick in the past year or two of bands that have come out. I've yet to see them. You know, again, they just sort of came up. They've been around for a couple years now, but this song off of this record just came out in 2020, and that record absolutely floored me. So I look forward to seeing these guys hopefully soon, because I bet you that shit's amazing live.
Let me ask you, what do you know? Where they're from? What's their whole thing? Yeah, it's hard. First of all, it's like you can hear that again, that thrash, that Slayer style thrash. That's my shit. You know, I like that. But I can hear the hardcore in it, and I don't know, it got a good sound. You know, the overall sound, again, it sounds like a old, a throwback sound, but it doesn't sound old. You know what I mean?
It's just a perfect flip of, you know, traditional crossover thrash. I want to say they're from Detroit, out that way. You know, which again makes sense. You know, I mean, it's hard. It's hard, you know, so but just that, you know, it's got a Cro-Mags feel to it on some of those riffs, you know, even some little Motorheady, you know,
exactly.
With the
that's that Motorhead is that whole Detroit, how CTYC was, that open metal punk. You know, they didn't make they mixed, you know, it was like punk and that open style of early metal. You know, New York mixed it with thrash more. And you know, and you know, it was a different thing, but that's what the Detroit always had, that you could hear the discharge in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yep. And then, you know, the turnarounds into those amazing Slayer riffs, you know, and the ride cymbal with that, you know, just the ride, and it's perfect. You know, it's really awesome, just crossover, traditional hard crossover stuff. But I think E1 Music, E1 Heavy, whatever that label is, they've got they put the record out last year, so definitely check it out, because the whole record is just, you know, hard as shit.
Yeah, that shit is definitely hard. And again, I could tell, like, guitar wise, it's one of those fucking chock full of riffs.
Yeah, they know how to play.
Yeah, you can tell that.
I think they came from hardcore bands, though. You know, at once, I don't know the history too much of the band, but I think that they were in hardcore bands previously, and you know, started this band, and obviously took it, you know, to the next level with metal influence. But it's awesome. It's awesome stuff. And like I said, probably one of the best things in the past couple of years that at least I've come across, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely like that shit. That's like definitely my style. Like, you know, it's like straightforward, and the guitar shit is dope. The guitar, you know, he was going off, and they know their shit. I can tell you, they've been playing together for a while, you know, without knowing. You know, and if not, they're dope players.
Yep, for sure.
But but let's check out. We got the last one for these sets.
Yep.
And this one I got is Be Well, Morning Light.
Cool.
Be Well, Morning Light. Let me tell you. All right, first of all, tell me I don't know how long they've been around or whatever, but that band could do big things, I think.
Yeah. That is, so the deal with that is that's guys from Darkest Hour, that metal band Darkest Hour.
Get out of here. That's fucking crazy.
And the singer is Brian McTernan, who sang in that band Battery.
Get out of here. Dope.
And he did Salad Days recording. He does Salad Days recording studios, you know, and he's done a lot of big records production wise. So he knows how to write a song, you know, and he knows how to put together a tune. And this is his new band. Like I said, he's, from Battery.
It says, that makes
yeah.
all the sense in the world with the behind it.
Yeah.
So the Battery, really dope. Like for that style and like well done, beyond well done.
Yeah.
And the singing is off the hook, on point. The production is on point. The songs on. I swear I was hearing that. I was like, oh, this shit's got to be a big track, and I'm just getting put onto it.
A radio song, you know what I mean?
What
like
I mean.
it really
like
has
that. I swear, I was waiting for you to tell me, yeah, this thing's been, it's big, and that's why I said off the grip, are they new or what's the deal? Because I might be, it feels like this is a big song, like it could be played on a lot of platforms. That song right there, as is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's a brand new band, but it's a band of seasoned players, that know exactly what they're doing, But it's DC, it's from DC. So it's got that, that sort of emotional DC modern flair to it. And I think that, Brian, especially McTurnan, the singer, especially through Battery and a lot of the stuff that he's done, that really set the pace for bands like Comeback Kid and Bane, and even my band The Promise at the time, where we were writing melodic stuff, DC derivative, but there was yelling on top of it, and lyrically it has, just a good emotion, like the whole thing. It's just an awesome modern DC hardcore, band.
That shit fucking sounds really like, I've had this thing on this playlist with some other shit on rotation with a bunch of other shit. So I have it in the background, but this is like really, I paid attention to it the most now, like listen to it like that, not while I'm fucking deadlifting or doing some stupid shit.
Right.
But
no, when it comes on, it stops you. I mean, this is one of those songs for me, at least when it comes on, it stops me in my tracks and I listen to it, because it's a great song.
Yeah, and it makes sense what he was saying, who was involved with it. I mean, it's dope that it's a new band with some old players, and it's good because it's a kind of a classic sound, but done well now, where it sounds fresh. It's that sounds refreshing. You know what I mean? And that's normally not my style either. Like the overall feel is, but it's been out of my playlist. The really old style kind of that
totally
melodic-ish sound has not been in the arsenal lately.
Right. Yeah. No, but it's done right and it's done well. And when it's done right and it's done well, you can't help but like it,
Yeah. And they're what's the deal with them? This is their thing. How many? This is something new, a new.
I think EP? This is the only thing. Yeah, it's a full length. Let me look real quick, but I think it's it's an awesome full length. What label? Equal Vision.
Oh, Equal Vision. All right, though. Yo, that way when we play that shit, yo, Steve, you better not sue me. All right,
That's
Steve.
Right.
All right, Steve. I know it. Yeah, remember, your daughter was stage diving. She loves my band. All right.
That's right. That's right.
But
you got
shout out
and you got Equal Vision alumni here too.
So. Come on. Yo, shout out to the fucking Ready family. One love to them, man. Definitely hardcore DNA royalty. I don't even want to say royalty for anybody, but you know what I mean. They're part of these bricks. Shout out to them.
Too. Yep.
Hell yeah. And that's one of the reasons. Again, I've been wanting to do this, like I told you, for a while. Yeah. Because I wanted to, again, we gotta show. I wanted to also dip in and see what was out there, and I wanted to show love to the new bands, but even more now than ever, after what just been going on, even more than ever, I feel like a fucking spokesman. Like I said, I've been saying it all week. I haven't called myself a hardcore kid more in the last week than I have in my whole life.
I know. And it's funny because I saw you say that recently, and it inspired me to say the same thing in a post that I did, because I was like we mentioned before, we put out the A7 Pitchfork comp yesterday. And again, working on that and putting that out with Warren and Drew and all these guys that I grew up, in Syracuse, knowing who they were in New York and whatever. It's cool to see us coming together, putting these projects out. And it's like, that's what hardcore is, you know what I mean? And it's like, sure, we're older now and hardcore's changed and it may not be our version and it is what it is, but we have our version and we're the fucking best at doing it, and we're going to continue doing what we do and putting out our version of what hardcore is, and like you said, I was proud to be a part of that Pitchfork thing. and all this other stuff, you know, that's coming up and everything. So
it's you know, but the whole movement needed it, you know. It showed, you know, the older generation together with the young generation. I got so amped seeing all the young kids, dude.
Yeah, man.
That Saturday shit, like, again, you know, people might be sick of hearing about it, but I don't give a fuck, because us,
it is what it is.
You know, that was our fucking, you know, it's hard to explain. That was our, you know, that's the peak of our movement, what happened that day. Like I tell people, like, all the generations before us, they wrote songs about what they would do when the time came, or what would happen, or what, you know, on a t-shirt, on what they would, how they would look doing what they think they would do when the time came. All of us, we were there, walked it. We didn't just talk it. We were there, and everybody who was there, again, I say it, and I mean this, spiritually and in the flesh, was needed and was felt. And we fucking made a statement, because never more than ever, that shit was for the fucking statement to the fucking world that nobody tells us what the fuck to do. We think for ourselves. No matter how you think, we all think different, but nobody tells us how to think. We're going to fight to live like we've always done. We're going to fight to play our music like we've always done. You know, this music, people forget. Hardcore had to come up in squats and garages, because nobody wanted, and they had to come up and find places. So if it ain't a pandemic, if it's a scamdemic, whatever you want to call it, I don't get. We're not gonna get into that. We're about we are the preservation of our shit, you know, for our kids. That shit I met, you know, I got my children are made from hardcore. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So they live. That's a product of the hardcore movement. If people like it or not, if you want to call me whatever name you want to call me, whatever, I already passed it to the next generation, and they're gonna pass it to the next and to the next, to the next.
Listen, I mean, this is rebel music, you know. It was always supposed to be rebel music, and that's what's strange to me, is the older I'm getting, I'm still a rebel, and I'm still saying fuck you to all the shit that I was saying fuck you to when I was a teenager, you know. But this new generation isn't necessarily on board with that, you know. So it's tough to get old and to have these sort of old guy thoughts. But at the end of the day, man, punk rock hardcore is rebel music. You're supposed to fuck authority. You're supposed to question everything. You're supposed to go against the grain. That's the whole point. That's why we aren't playing rock and roll music. You know? And that, for some reason, to me, seems to be getting lost on, you know, some of the newer generation, where they focus on that quick fix of the internet to find out where shit's popping off and where they're getting their sources, where we put in the work. You know what I mean? We were soldiers, and we still are soldiers. We're still out there, you know, touring and doing all that shit. So again, I don't want to get off on that tangent either, but it was an awesome day. And I took a walk around the park with my 10-year-old daughter, and it was amazing. It was amazing for her to walk outside the park and observe what was going on inside around her. People laying on blankets with dogs, and people in a mosh pit, and people stage diving, and people just chilling, having a good time, living, dude. And she's never seen more of New York City in her life than she did inside that park that day. You know what I mean?
There was
bums, there were squatters, there was
everything.
There was everybody in there, dude.
I know. That was great. And believe me, my sons, I wanted to bring them, but I had these other shows, and I didn't have to be able to watch them, but I wanted them there so bad, because I was like, I knew they were going to get that all in one. You know, you're going to get
the movement needed it. You know what I mean? It really did. And New York City is obviously going to be the place to set that off, you know, and I'm glad that, you know, that the event happened, and it went unhitched, and the media can spin it however the fuck they want to spin it. We know the real deal, you know. And we all know that everything starts on the ground level, dude. Everything starts in the underground on the ground level, you know. And that was just it, you know. We started something that day.
It was again, I've never been prouder. Again, salute to everybody around the world, because Buske, I've been getting hit from people around the planet. That's why I want to say, we feel the love, and we felt the love that day, because if you know, that day is unexplainable. And I'm getting from emails from people from Brazil, Norway, Japan, South America. Like, we weren't there, but we were with you. You know, man, thank you guys. And I don't not thank us, thank everybody. You know, like we had to make a statement when you see everybody, every color, babies, old people, like you said, bum squatters, and not one miserable fuck there. We showed somebody, we showed the world more than just the music scene. Like, wow, look at everybody's we're ready to live happy. There's a lot of people ready that we willing to live, but we want to be happy. Like it opened a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, well, that was unity, you know what I mean? And it sounds generic and corny, but it's like everyone wants to sit here and be, you know, a hardcore guy and preach all this unity and this and that. And it's like, well, that was it. That was in the flesh, you know, the real deal right there. So,
but yeah, no, I'm glad we did, and that's why this shit was important. And I'm planning on doing another edition of these. We're gonna do a couple of these every so often because it also keeps me up to date on what's going on. So all you new bands out there, get at me, get at Buske, flood his mail. Flood his mail. And also hit me up. And you know, we're gonna get our shit played because also we also want to hear some good new music, you motherfuckers out there. So bring it. Yeah. You know,
and it's out there too. It's out there. So
for sure. And we want it out there and we want to hear it and we want to put that shit on Front Street. So send your music in. Buske, I'm glad I was able to catch you. We're gonna be doing this shit again and let everybody know what are you up to now? What's going on right now?
Like I said, the Pitchfork A7 comp, pick that up. And I know Antidote has a new 7-inch coming out that I did the layout for, so check that out when it comes out. You know, whatever, casaderock.com, Smokin Word, all you guys, shout out to all you guys putting in the work. You know, this is awesome to see all these podcasts. So keep up the good work on your end too.
You gotta keep up, Buske. So one love to the family, to the better halves. What's up? And this shit is gonna drop and the next Thursday. I'll let you know what's up. But everybody out there, tune in. You know the deal, and we out.
Word. Peace.
Word.